Alright guys, this is the pre-lecture for Stephen King's One for the Road. A couple things. Obviously Stephen King is one of the most famous horror writers of all time. The Shining, The Last Stand, the one about the car that escapes me all of a sudden, Christine, all of those led him to obviously a lot of success for writing, which actually he gave up before being really kind of published and put into such big success. But you know, as the story goes, his wife fished out the manuscript out of the trash and convinced him to get it published, or try to get it published, and it did, and led to all kinds of stuff. But anyway, the short story that we are reading is One for the Road, and it is a suspense and horror, and there's a few things I want you to concentrate on when you read it. Number one, it's from the narration of the character named Boo, and he's there with Tookie, and Tookie is kind of like, I don't want to say the main character, but he's kind of what it's focused on as the guy who is older and wiser and more aware, and he comes off at the very beginning really different by what we end up about. And I'm not going to say too much about that, other than the fact that pay attention to those two characters and notice how, as the story goes on and how things really start heating up, notice the character traits of what make these people and unique and special and interesting. Specifically because how they are presented at the beginning is radically different than the reality of who these characters are, intellectually and emotionally, even physically. There's this one bit of narration whenever it describes Tookie, which is really kind of like slow motion action hero kind of stuff. Even though I wouldn't say this is not an action story at all, okay? But the way it's described is really kind of a slow motion moment, if you will. So anyway, enjoy the story. I'm going to link, hopefully underneath this, the audio YouTube video of the story if you want to maybe throw that on and clean your room, or that's what I would be doing anyway, because I'm a neat freak, but or the living room, or just basically if you want to listen and not maybe read, it is verbatim the same. But I will say this: if you read it, it's going to go by a lot faster. Okay, so I would suggest reading it, but if it's a more realistic option for you to listen to it, that's fine too. But do spend the time of doing it. I'm going to let you know right now, though, you'll spend quite a bit more time listening to it, as I think it's a 40-minute YouTube video or audio set that's playing. Excuse me. So there's that. Enjoy, and come back in a moment, and we'll discuss it.